Hi everyone, I'm Ian. My project is about improving the left behind children's well-being in Shidong. This is a real case that I self-made, comes from my experience last year. I went to Shidong to film the life of a left behind boy. Firstly, I would introduce what is left behind children. Basically, they are children who remain in rural regions of China while their parents leave to work in the urban sector. As we all know that China is called a world factory, so many of the left behind children's parents are actually workers in those factories which are producing everything to supply the entire planet. According to the UNICEF 2018 annual report, there are approximately 69 million children left behind in rural areas in China. Going back to our case, Shidong is a small town of approximately 23,000 inhabitants and is located in Guizhou province, which is one of the poorest area in China. That in Guizhou, many people migrate to other provinces in order to seek jobs. Located in high and isolated mountains, Shidong's local economy relies on the plantation of wheat, popcorns, and potatoes, which brings a low income. That's why many adults in Shidong choose to go elsewhere to seek for jobs rather than staying at home. So this induces the problem of left behind. In general, there are 5 primary schools and 1 middle school in Shidong. According to the word of one school leader, there over half of the children enrolled are actually left behind. Here is an image of Shidong Middle School. From the outside, the school looks pretty good, not so bad, to be honest. And here is what I see from the school propaganda column. I translate this paragraph to English here. It says that Chen Xia is 15 years old. She is studying in Shidong Middle School. She studies hard at school and is warm-hearted to help classmates, while her parents leave home to do laborious work elsewhere. She always helps her grandparents to do housework during the weekend. In Shidong, in this middle school, many of students are the same to Chen Xia that they are left behind at home. So many of them value school life more important than home life because at home during the weekend they could only stay with their grandparents or they could only stay alone, which is really depressed and isolated, just like what we are experiencing right now. But at school days, they could at least talk with their classmates, study together. Here is a picture of the street on Shidong. We can see that there are several young teenagers. And in Shidong, an interesting finding is that on the street, most of people are either young teenagers or the elders. You can really find any adults in the town because all adults are going out to seek jobs elsewhere. Here's another picture in a bubble tea store in Shidong. So to summarize, for those left behind children, the school is beyond the conventional platform to deliver knowledge, but a place better than home because since in schools they have classmates, they have teachers, they have friends, but at home they are always alone. So our project starts through the school aspect in order to improve the well-being of left behind children in Shidong. In recent years, the national government has increased its physical investment along with affirmative actions in order to help rural education, and the Shidong schools in Shidong also benefit from these policies. For example, uh, children in Shidong actually could enter the high school at a lower marks than others because of the affirmative actions, but there is still a huge gap between rural schools in Shidong and their urban counterparts. Uh, Firstly, Shidong has a relatively low level of school management, which leads to the fact that many young teachers from urban sector are very reluctant to come to Shidong to work. They do not want to work there at all. Another problem is that there's a lack of mental health education in Shidong that many uh, leftover children, as we've mentioned, that they stay at home all the time during the weekend. They cannot stay with their parents, which more or less would lead to some mental health issues such as depression, but children there in Shidong could not access to mental health guidance or services at all. So our project has two components, and it all starts from the school level, since children with school more important than their home. The first component is the training of local teachers on mental health knowledge. Another component is training of school leaders on school management. And here is our stakeholder analysis. We have three major internal actors, which are local teachers, school leaders, and the local officials, since our project targets the training of these two actors. But one problem could arise the same to most of capacity development projects. How to motivate the locals' participation is always tough, but important to figure out. Mm, Especially in this case, we are training the teachers and school leaders not to not for their welfare, but for the leftover children's well-being. We have another external actor. They are representative from Ministry of Education. Uh, this this actor is very important here because uh, those high-level government elites could directly decide the attitude of those internal actors, because China is a very power coercive country with a top-down system. If you are the school, you are the government official, especially high-level government official, you have a power over other people. So with the support of the representative or other high-level government bureaus, it could motivate the internal actors to do their work, to take the training actively as we want. So lastly is our capacity development plan. I decide two activities. The first one is training of local teachers on mental health training. And the objective is obviously to improve mental health knowledge for those local teachers. Mm, the training is through the approach of training of trainers, as this approach has an advantage of cover as many as participants as possible. In Shidong, all six schools are separate located, so it's very hard to target all the teachers at the same time. So we choose TOT. So it would be organized in a 2-week intensive training courses whereby master trainer would train selected school teachers during the 2-week time. And after the 2-week intensive training, the school teachers then would train other teachers in their school respectively. So it could cover all the local teachers as our projects expect. But this approach also has a limitation that it has a dilution effect. So the quality of both master trainer and lead trainers are particularly important in this case. Another component is the training of school leaders on school management. And our object is to improve school management capacity. By improve school management capacity, perhaps it's not only could offer those left behind children a better school experience, but also to attract teachers from the urban sector, those high quality teachers to come and work here. In this case, we choose the organizational twinning to pair the one local school in Shidong to another organization in a much more developed area. And the fun is to through a 1 week school visits, and during that 1 week, there would be training courses, workshops, group discussions between the local school leaders in Shidong and their twinning partners to discuss the practical knowledge as well as their experience in the school management capacity. By using this approach, it has the advantage that it best combines training with the technical assistance. Also, the time is highly flexible. So we note here that the 1 week school visit could happen on any time during the semester. And another advantage is that it could help to foster a sustainable relationship between the two parties, and in the long term, there might still be a cooperation between the school in the urban sector and the school in Shidong, even after the project. But this approach has a limitation that we must select the twinning agency carefully. The twinning agency must meet our requirements that it needs to have a short commitment with schools in Shidong. And that's our capacity development plan, and to honestly to change the well-being of Shidong. Children left behind children in Shidong is very difficult. As long as China is still the world factory, it's hard to change their destiny. But anyway, if we can do any good things to help their life, especially those left behind children's life a little bit, I think it's worth it. And lastly, thank you, and please stay healthy.